Happy Saturday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Saturday Brunch. This is Woong Tae Ryu, your host of Saturday Brunch on GFN 98.7 FM in Gwangju and 93.7 FM in Yeosu and the greater Jeollanam area. Saturday Brunch is a talk show co-produced by GFN and Jeonnam National University Language Education Center. Every week, we need your voice here. Please feel free to join us on the show as a guest debater or pitch us your idea. Find us on Facebook by Saturday Brunch GFN, where you can listen to previous episodes and stay connected with us. You can also leave us a message with your phone. Call pound 9870 or sharp 9870. You can also visit our website on www.gfn.or.kr. So it's the second week of July, and you know what? Our producer, Mi-young Kim, and I decided something fun with our show. We just came up with this idea that, summer is already here and people will be leaving for vacation. So, from this week till the last week of July, we will do Travel Special July. 4 episodes in a row. And for the first menu, of this travel special, we will talk about how to travel and work at the same time. Yes, working holiday visa. Today, we invited 3 people who have traveled and worked with the working holiday visa in 2 different countries. We have Im Hyung-chun, Jeff, Jung and Leah Ho-chi in the studio here. Did I pronounce it right?
It's Leah Moreau, actually.
Moreau.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It's French, and I do not speak French, so sorry about that. Leah Moreau.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah, welcome.
All right, so how are we doing this afternoon? Well, this Saturday, sorry. How are we doing right now? Is everything good?
Really good.
Yeah, everything's so good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really nice to meet you all.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Absolutely. So let's talk with, let's go by Jeff first. So would you tell us about yourself a little bit? Like, what school you go to, what country have you been to, like all the things?
Yeah, of course. My name is Hyung-chun Lim from Korea, and I'm a student of Jeonnam National University, majoring in economics and sub-majoring in English literature.
Oh, you're double majoring.
Not double major, main major is economics and then sub-major is...
Sub-major.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Not double major. Anyway.
All right.
Of course, I stayed in Australia on working holiday visa for about a month.
8 months.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, for 8 months in Australia.
Mm-hmm. And I'm quite really energetic and quite bright person.
You call yourself a bright person.
That's cool.
How bright you
Many
are.
friends have said like that. So yeah. Okay, that's it.
You were just saying what your friends told you.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. And let's move on to Leah this time.
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Leah Moreau and I'm a 23 years old French girl. So, actually, this is not my first time in Korea. That's my 5th time. But this time I'm staying in Gwangju in order to do a 6 months internship at Pedro's house. So we can say that I'm a world traveler because I've been already in 25 countries and I think it's pretty cool for my age,
25 countries.
Yes.
You're like a traveler expert.
Hopefully. So actually I have kind of special story to tell you. That is after I passed my high school certificate, I decided to go to Australia with the working holiday visa.
Okay.
When I was only 19.
Wait, so Australia was your first destination?
That was not the first destination, but that was the first trip that I did alone by myself.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after this experience that I really love so much, then I chose to do my Bachelor of Tourism Management, but online. Because I was thinking why do I need to stay in France when I can do my study online and travel to other countries, meet new people, and learn a new language as well. Because,
good thinking.
Yeah. So I decided to go to Thailand and I booked a flight and I just went there and I really enjoyed my time for 2 years.
3 years?
2 years,
2 years.
Actually. Then I came back to France for 6 months and here I am in Korea now.
Isn't it kind of hard for you to track down all the different time period and then by the time I where did I stay for how long? Did you lose track of that?
Actually, I'm creating my own website nowadays. Like, I used to do a blog for each of my travel, but now I want to gather all these blogs together in only one website. And I actually created my YouTube channel as well, which is called Lee Adventure. So in this YouTube channel, I'm gonna share about my experience in Korea and about Jeollanam-do travels and everything you can do in Gwangju and in Korea.
I'll make sure to post that on our posting later.
Thank you very much.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I really want to share about like everything I love and the people I meet, and yeah, I love to travel.
So Leah is doing an internship in Korea, and you've been here for 2 months so far?
Yeah,
2 months,
around
and then you're gonna stay here another 6 more months?
Until October.
Till October.
But I may stay longer if someone's offer me a job. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to Korea.
Thank you.
Now let's move on to the last guest of today, Hyesun.
Hello everyone, my name is Hyesun Jung and I'm from Korea, of course. And I don't want to say my age here.
You don't have to.
I might be the oldest one here.
No, this is
Except
actually
you, of course,
age-free zone, but yeah, let's not get to the age thing. I am probably the oldest.
So I graduated Jeonnam National University, majoring in business administration. And I went on several exchange programs, and I was in the Philippines for 4 months, and I went to Canada as an exchange student as well. And I loved Canada so much, so I went back to Canada as a working holiday visa. Yeah, and I've been in Gwangju about 7 years, so I'm pretty much Gwangju expert.
What about Jeff? Were you born in Gwangju and then you stayed here for your life?
Yeah, because I was born in Gwangju and I've stayed in Gwangju only.
So you two are Gwangju people?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I love traveling. My best place in Korea is Gyeongju. Have you been to Gyeongju?
Oh
guys?
yeah. That's a special
you been?
place.
I think so.
Oh, yeah?
I always make the mistake between Gyeongju and Gyeongju. Yeah.
Gwangju, Gyeongju.
Yeah.
It sounds similar.
Yeah.
And Gyeongju, especially night view of Nanapji.
Oh.
I love that
Yeah,
place.
I love that place too. And the best place in abroad in New York City. Yeah, I cannot forget that I watched the night view top of the Empire State Building. Yeah, and I'm very diligent person and punctual.
This is like you gotta say something about yourself. Jeff was saying I'm a bright person. And you're saying I'm punctual.
Yeah, and also having a chance on here, GFN was one of my bucket list. So it's really
You can
good
cross it
chance.
out now.
Yeah, it's really good chance.
Okay, well, it's good to have all of you in the studio today, and we'll get to talk about more of the working holiday thingy on part 2. So let's listen to the first song of today, take a short break, and we'll come back. The first song is Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran, and who was song request was that? That was
I
Hyesun.
recommend it.
Got it. Okay, enjoy the song. We'll be right back. Holiday picks with Jeff, Hyesun, and Leah. And shortly before we come back to part 2, when we're taking a rest, we're talking about actually these people travel a lot overseas, but not within their own country. We're just talking about that. Why would that be? What do you think the reason might be?
I think of course traveling to domestic cities is really good. But I don't think it's better than traveling abroad. Because whenever I travel abroad, I can meet lots of new people, various nations.
Something totally new, completely different people, and then different language.
People I have never met, and of course I can learn something new that I have never experienced from them, and then I can also learn how they live their life.
Right.
So I like traveling abroad.
Anything to add, anyone?
For me, I do think because France is my own country,
Right.
so I think my country will still be my country, so I have so much time left to travel in my country, so I want to go abroad everywhere I can as much as possible, and then later on maybe I'm gonna travel in France. But yeah, that's more my mind now, but maybe it's gonna change later. I don't know.
Probably traveling itself is about experiencing something new,
Yeah.
going to a new place. But then if you travel within your own country, still, even though you might be able to find something new, it's
Yeah.
your country. So it's your country. So you don't see a whole lot of new things. And I think travelers in nature have something they're craving for something new. And being exposed to something of their own country is like, I mean, it's a new thing, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's kind of a little boring for expert travelers.
Yeah.
All right, now let's move on to the first question in part 2. So, in what country did you stay, and for how long did you stay on working holiday visa? And how did you like your experience overall? Let's go with Jeff first.
Actually, I said it before in the introduction. I stayed in Australia for about 8 months
Right.
on working holiday visa.
Uh-huh.
And of course, like, see my working holiday visa in a word, it's like the second turning point of my life. The first turning points of my life was when I started studying English for the first time in my life. And the second turning point was when the day I came to Australia for the first time in my life. Because like, I didn't really want to study in Australia, but experience lots of things, like meet new people. Because before I flew to Australia, I had never met lots of foreign people in Korea. Because I live in Gwangju and there are just a few foreign people in Gwangju. And so, yeah, I think I could see lots of things and good views in Australia. Of course, like so many wild animals in Australia.
Wild animals.
Yeah.
Some random wild animals.
Kind of like lizards, like bat,
Lizards?
crocodile.
Crocodiles.
Yeah.
Spiders.
Kind of
The spiders.
bat, kind of
Bat.
Batman.
The Batman bat? Wow.
Bat,
Yeah.
and crocodile.
When I've seen it, I've seen a bat in one of the classrooms when I went to college in the States. And a bat was like hiding, it was in a dorm room. So everyone got freaked out. But then one of the girls, she was actually majoring in zoology.
Oh, really?
She reached up there, held the bat in her hands, and then let it out or something. She did something and we were all impressed. But she did it like as if it was nothing.
Was it pretty small?
Yeah, it was kind of small. And actually, if you took a closer look at it, it looks kind of really cute.
Yeah.
looks
That's
cute.
yeah.
Yeah.
And-
So, yeah, go ahead.
Talking about bat, right?
Yeah, we're talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the wild animals in Australia.
Yeah, Australia, and then
Alright.
in the water, everywhere in the water there are so many crocodiles living in the water. So you could meet if you want.
And
in
the bugs,
Australia.
jellyfish too.
Oh, jellyfish, bugs. Oh my god, I was sick and tired of that.
No.
Did you before you went to Australia, how was your English?
Actually, like I studied English in Korea.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
I mean, we all study English in Korea.
yeah, with some
Oh.
club members. I was member of one of English clubs at CNU, Jung National University. And of course, like I didn't speak English well at the time. The day I went to, the day I came to Australia. Of course, now I'm really good at English now. But yeah, Australia, really good. Because like the country makes me speak English well, better than the past. So yeah, I was quite poor in English at the time.
I think your English really good.
Yeah, like everyone sounds really good here. I mean, even
you.
English is now your first tongue in because
no,
you're
no.
French.
Yeah, I'm French, so.
Everyone speaks English really well here.
Thank
Two
you.
Koreans and one French.
Woohoo!
And actually, on the questions that I sent you, Jeff, and then on the responses, you said English was like because you were in a situation that you were forced to speak English. Your English improved a lot, and then you said something about like it was really like opening something really new opportunities, and it was like a whole new world. And I wanted to say, you know what, being able to speak English really does that to people. Especially like if you think about Google search results. 9/10 of all the data are in English.
Yes.
And all the other languages, take little segments of the whole search results. Myriads of search results. So actually, English proficiency really opens up a whole new world's door to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally true.
Well, okay, let's move on to Hyesun this time. So you went to Canada
Yeah.
for how long for the working holiday visa, and then how was the experience overall? Tell us briefly about it.
Okay, so I stayed in Canada for exactly a year. So I stayed in Edmonton, which is located upside of Vancouver, I
Vancouver.
think. Yeah, it's
It was
located
like
in
eastern
western.
western
Yeah,
side?
western side.
Okay.
So I was in Edmonton when I was an exchange student. So I was pretty used to in Edmonton. So
How
I
long did
went
you
back.
stay there as an exchange student?
A year.
Oh, and then you went back there
Yeah,
for
I
another
went back
year.
for another
Wow.
year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have pretty much many friends there already,
Uh-huh.
and I know some people there, so it was pretty easy to get a job
Yeah,
for
must
me.
have been a lot easier.
I have a small question.
Yeah, sure.
Like, does the working holiday visa for Korean is just 1 year in Canada?
Yeah, only 1 year.
Because in France it's for 2 years.
In Canada?
Yeah, in
Really?
Canada.
Wait. Working holiday?
Yeah, working holiday. Like, it's really hard to get because you have the quota, but it's like 3,000 per year or something.
3,000 people per year?
Yeah, but if you get it, you can go for 2 years.
Oh, you mean in France? Other national people to France?
No. If you're
people to
French,
Canada?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a different foreign policy.
Sorry.
No.
It's okay.
So yeah, and okay.
And you like it was like in the beginning, but I mean it was easier for you to settle down because you had been there as an exchange student before.
Yeah.
But on your response, you said you couldn't really get a job in the beginning for 2 months.
Because I earn pretty much a lot of money in Korea, so
Okay,
I
you just
brought
wanted to
enough
relax
money.
there.
Yeah, I need to relax there.
Spending
for 2 months.
money.
Yeah. And then after that, I spent all my money. After that, I got a job.
So you ran out of the options, and then okay, now we gotta work.
Yeah. So actually, I worked at Starbucks. I told you guys, because that I got a job by myself, but one of my friends was working at Starbucks, so he actually recommended me to work there.
Oh, that's nice.
Were you kind of nervous when you first went to the job interview? Okay, I consider that I assume the Starbucks interview was probably your first English interview
Of course, yeah. That was my first formal English interview.
in your whole life.
Yeah, in my whole life. So I was really nervous. And the manager asked me a lot of questions, but I didn't answer well. But there were several Asian guys, and the manager was Chinese too. And he actually think Korean worked really well. So he loved me a lot.
Okay.
That's so cool.
And then you also said that in your response, you kind of hesitated to go to Canada even after getting the visa, even after getting the working holiday visa. So what made you hesitate, and then what was the last push that made you finally go?
I actually got my visa in 2013, but I went to Canada in 2014 because I was worried about my age. And for you, Korean, we are still thinking of our age and getting a job or my future. And my parents didn't like me to go to Canada at all, so I actually lied to them. So I'm kind of worried that my parents will listen to this show.
Hopefully not.
Really?
Oh my god.
So I lied to them that I got an internship job in Canada.
Oh.
So it's okay. It's okay.
It was very brave of you.
Yeah, it was pretty brave. So, but I really love to go to Canada again.
There must have been a lot of thoughts behind your mind before you finally left for Canada.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
kudos to you. Good job. Good job.
But I don't regret at all.
That's the
Okay.
best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the best actually.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's move on to Leah. So your Australia experience,
So
briefly.
so actually, like, when I was 14, I really started to do scuba diving. So I've been to the Caribbean, I've been to Madagascar, and I dive in France as well. But I was always dreaming to go to Australia to do the scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef. So that's the reason why when I was 15, I started to save my money to go to Australia. And actually, I was supposed to go to exchange program when I was in high school, but that was so expensive that my parents couldn't afford it. And I said, don't worry, I will go after I graduate high school. So then I start saving, I start to plan and organize my working holiday visa and all this stuff. And yeah, then I went to Australia and I stayed there for like 9 months. around, and that was really nice. Like I met really nice people. I improved my English. I travel around by myself, backpacking, and yeah, that was one of the best choice I could make in my life. Like honestly, yeah. I don't
Wow.
regret at all.
You know what? Actually, hearing that story makes me a little bit sad about Korean students, because Korean students at 15, 16, they go to Hagwon, they go to private institutions all the
Yeah.
time. They can't really dream about that kind of things, like those kind of things. Like, okay, I want to go travel, and then actually putting that into action at such an early age of 15 or 16, that's just really hard to come by in Korea. So,
Yeah.
It is impossible actually.
yeah.
Wow.
But even for French, I mean, that's a little bit unconventional, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Probably, I assume a lot of influence from your parents.
some of them, yes. Actually, I got really a good support from my parents. They always say like, if you want to do something, then do it. Show you can do it, and we will support you. So that's the reason why I say, oh, I'm gonna go to Australia, and they say, okay, save your money and go. But so I start saving, and then they help me a little. But so for the flight tickets, for example, but most of the expenses I paid all by myself. And like yeah, I was really thankful to my parents. And
Just let you do as whatever you want to do.
yeah, but the really funny things is like back then, so it was like around 5 years ago, the like French people didn't go that much in Australia that nowadays. So when I say to my high school that I'm not gonna go to university directly, but I'm just gonna take a gap year, my high school teacher, they say, no, you can't do that. You have to go to university.
So it was actually not your parents, but the teacher
Yeah.
that said no to your plan.
And actually, I just applied to university to see which one will accept me when I come back from Australia. So I just make the test for just to try, you know. But the university select me, and they only select like 30 students upon 1,000 students. So that was a really hard selection.
Yeah.
So when they told me you got the like you got into our university, I say like, sorry guys, I'm going to the Australia. But they say, oh no, you have to go, we need you. And I say, no, I made my choice, sorry. And they call me 5 times. They call me 5 times, and because my parents and I, we already made our choice, then they call the director of my high school, and they say like, you have to tell her she can't go. So everyone tried to drag me, tried to make me stay in France, but I had
you're some stubborn French girl.
yeah.
The spirit of independence.
Yeah, kind of. So
Well,
I just went there. And,
Okay.
no.
So when everybody finally arrived in that country, Hyesun started to work at Starbucks. And then what about you, Jeff?
When I was in Australia, I worked as a cashier
Mm-hmm.
at a cashier shop under the Korean Australian boss. And then the cashier was located in Townsville, which is the second largest city.
Wait a second. I think I checked the time a little bit off. 부장님, 혹시 여기 아까 전에 대학교 얘기한 쪽을 좀 자르고 좀 돌아가는 게 좋을 것 같은데요, 앞으로. 제가 시간을 잘못 계산했어요. 저는 26분에 끝나는 걸 알았는데. 네, 알겠습니다. 그러면은 그러니까 so 지금 이번 퀘스천을 막 시작했으니까요. 이걸 그냥 하는 걸 할게요. 네. So yeah, you can just keep going with your turn. I'm gonna start it again. Okay. Okay. So 그럼 남은 시간이 한 4분 정도. 예, 20. Okay. 28. All right. So after you arrived in each other's respective countries, like Hyesun in Canada, and then you started to work for Starbucks, and then what about you, Jeff?
In Australia, I worked as a cashier at a cashier shop under the Korean and Australian boss. It's like the store was located in Townsville, which is the second largest city in Queensland in Australia. And I met so many nations, various nations from various countries like India, Japanese, Chinese, just a few Korean people, of course, like Aussie people. We worked together. Like every day we used wash cars, so many cars a day, about 100 cars every day.
That's a hard work.
Yeah, that's what made us get familiar with each other more. So and
was it hard to get the job when you? Okay, so when did you get the job after you arriving there?
1 month later.
So it took a month.
Yeah, it took a month.
And it wasn't probably it was taking a whole month, like about 30 days. Is not so that probably means it was not easy to get the job.
Yeah, because my English ability was really poor at the time, so it was really difficult to get a job.
What did you have to go through?
Actually, I always used to go out to the streets to hand out my resume or cover letters to every store that I could see in Australia, and just I was just pretending like a customer when I entered the shop, and I just started talking in English with really small talk hey, how are you? What a nice weather, like that. And when I thought our conversation was going well, and I started talking actually the reason why I entered this shop is to hand out my resume, and could you deliver this resume to your manager? And they said okay, yes. But so I almost handed out my resume to more than 100 stores in Australia, especially Melbourne.
Within that 1 month, more than 100 stores.
More than 1 month. Within the month, I handed out my more than 300.
Wow.
Did you print out there?
Wow.
Yeah, of course I printed out.
That must have cost some money too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really full. I should have printed all the resumes out in Korea, but I didn't really know, so I just printed all the resumes out in Australia, and it costed
So
a lot
much
of money.
Yeah.
And one day I got a call from the boss, Korean film boss, that I would come to the Townsville to work as a cashier. So I said yes, and I flew to the city because Australia is really big. So whenever I moved to city, I had to use a airplane. So I flew to the city and I started working there with various nations. And of course, it was really tough because I think now I'm thinking of it was the toughest work that I have ever done. But
well, at this point, we are almost done for part 2. So I'm gonna ask you further questions and then move on to Leah in the beginning of part 3.
Okay.
All right, let's listen to the second song of today. I Believe I Can Fly by R. Kelly, requested by Jeff, actually.
yeah.
Yeah, he kind of flew around in Australia. So we'll be right back. 자, part 3를 시작합니다. Back to Saturday Brunch. Today we're talking about working holiday picks with Jeff, Hyesun, and Leah. So in the last part of part 2, Jeff was talking about, it took him a month to get a job at the car washer place. But then in your response, you said something that it was actually really, even though the work was a lot, it was physically a very demanding job, but it was the happiest time in your life.
Yeah, of course. Because I had to only work for 8 hours a day, that legally, and then if I work more than 8 hours, I wouldn't get paid from my boss. So the work starts from 9 to 5, as far as I remember. And of course, after finishing our work of the day, I used to hang out with my coworkers from various nations.
What kind of countries are they from?
India, Japanese, Chinese, and Aussie, of course, Australian people, and a few Korean people. And right after we finished the work of the day, we used to go to beautiful places like beach or mountains. Sometimes we went to downtown to drink together, and then of course company dinner. While the company dinner, I could hear lots of things from various nations, because each of them were really different from each other next to them. So India story, Japanese story, and Chinese story. So I could learn lots of things, and of course I could learn how to swim in the sea.
If you were working for a car washing place in Korea, you can't really go to the seaside or having that kind of hearing about so much different perspectives from different people. So I think the reason that you were so happy, even though you're working kind of physically demanding job, was because you were getting what you wanted during the working holiday. Your purpose of working and learning about people and experiencing new things, that was being fulfilled.
Yeah,
You
I really
were
appreciate
what you wanted was being met. So you were. That's why I think you were being satisfied with your life.
Absolutely.
Well, let's move on to Leah.
Yeah.
So, what about when you first went to you went to Australia,
Yes.
and then the job? Like, how long did it take you to get the job?
So actually, I started by Melbourne and I did a volunteer job for 3 months around, but I'm gonna talk about this later.
Okay.
And then I decided to move to Sydney, and actually my jobs took me 1 hour to get.
Just 1 hour.
Yeah. So actually, it's pretty funny story. It's like when I moved to Sydney, I didn't know the city at all, and that was all the new discovery for me. So I planned to book only 3 nights in a hostel to just arrive, like get to know the city, and then start to find a job. So when I get inside the hostel, that I wanted to check in, and then the receptionist, she was busy, so I just like wait a little, and they have a woman who was talking on the phone in Korean. And I love Korea for so long, almost like 8 years. So I just like wait that she finish her phone call, and then I start to talk with her, and I say, "Oh, you're Korean. I love Korea for so long." And then like we start to talk like this, like friend. And then she asks me, "Oh, but what are you doing here?" And I say, "Oh, I just come like from Melbourne. I just arrived this morning in Sydney, and actually I'm coming here to try to find a job because now it's time for me to earn money." And she say, "You know what? I'm the wife of the manager of this hostel."
Wow.
So she say, "Actually, my husband is managing 3 other hostels in Sydney. So if you want, you can get the interview right now because after that he's gonna move to another place." So I was in the jogging, I didn't take shower, I didn't check in, I didn't speak English for like 2 weeks because I was traveling with French friend before. But I was like, maybe that's my chance. So I just like crossed the street and went to the other building, and I got my interview. And then like her husband just welcomed me and he say, "Oh, you look so young, you're only 19. Do you think you can be a receptionist?" And I say like, "Yeah, I can try. I'm really motivated." So he say like, "Okay, you start in 2 hours. Go the other side of the town. I give you a map and you have to be there for your training." So I didn't know where was the subway, where was the bus. So I just walk all around in Sydney to find the hotel.
Oh my God.
And yeah, when I get there, then like I just started the training, and after 3 days they told me I got the job. So that's how it's happened.
Did you get paid during your training?
I don't know. I don't think they didn't pay me for the 2 first day, and I was really intense. I worked like 10 days the first day, 10 hours the first day, and 9 hours the other day. But yeah, that was really cool because after that, I was like sleeping in the hotel. So I was sharing rooms with the other receptionists.
So they provided you like with the room.
Yeah, that was a share room, but that was really cool.
But you don't need to pay for that.
No, I didn't need to pay, and I got my salary, so that was nice. And I was located in Pitt Street, which is just next to the central station. So that's really good location in city center. So I could just go around by walk, and I didn't need to pay for transportation.
Wow,
And-
that's a lot of advantage. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
kind of
like-
whole- yeah.
I just think that was kind of
That's a whole
destiny, you know, like I heard this woman, she appeared, she say, "Oh, I have a job for you." And I was like, okay.
Wait, but so I mean, if she wasn't ready to speak, like reach certain English proficiency, and then she wouldn't have been able to get the chance. I mean, actually grab the chance.
Yeah,
So
I think, yeah.
the luck comes, but you should be prepared to get the luck. I mean, to
Yeah.
actually grab the luck and make it into your opportunity.
Like, I truly believe that Australia is the country, like, if you're open-minded, if you're going to see the people, talk to the people, and if you're at the right place, at the right moment, you're gonna get the chance. But some other people, they might find it difficult to find the jobs because maybe sometimes they're not at the right place at the right moment, you know.
So far we heard about how getting a job, like their own experience of getting a job once they arrived in their country of the working holiday visa. So for Hyesun, it took about I mean, okay, for 2 months you didn't really try to get a job.
Yeah, I
so
didn't really
actually,
try.
after you started trying, how long did it take?
It's about a week or 2 weeks.
Week or two in Starbucks.
Yeah.
And your English was still. I mean, at the time you were able to speak English because you had been already there as an exchange student for years.
Yeah.
So your English was pretty okay. Jeff, it took about a month, a little longer.
Yeah.
Because your English was at the time it was not really on the conversational level. Maybe a little conversation was possible.
Yeah, of course. Like I could communicate with other people just a little bit, not
Just a little
much.
bit. So not much proficiency.
Yeah.
So and then it took a month, and then you landed on a job at a car washing place.
Mhm.
For Leah, it took about
An
just
hour.
an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
And then you started to work as a receptionist.
Yes,
Mm.
exactly.
Okay. Well, I think the preparedness kind of matters. And when, as we talked, if the luck comes by in any form, in any situation that you haven't expected, but to grab it, you need to be prepared. But then, in terms of getting a job, getting a good job that you want to work for, what is the key, do you think, in terms of working as working holiday visa in those countries? Preparedness.
Yeah, I
And then
think
just kind
so.
of being
Yeah.
brave to keep sending
Yeah,
resumes
being
and
Being brave is the most important fact, I think.
mm,
Because like, even though you're really good at speaking English, if you are not really brave, you cannot really get a job. Because like, the more you try to hand out your resume and CV or cover letters to stores, it can like raise the possibility of getting a job. So being brave is really important, I think.
okay.
I think being open-minded and going to see the people, like being positive and say, I'm gonna get it, I think it have a big influence about how you're gonna live your experiences as well. If you think positively, if you're smiling to the people and going to see them and explain what you're looking for, I think they will give you a chance.
In Korea, in the current job market situation, it's really hard to get a job. But this question just came into my mind. In Australia, so positive mindset is more important. I mean, it seems to have more effect on people. Is it easier to get a job, do you think, in Australia than in Korea currently?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there are a lot more opportunities still.
Yeah, there are so many opportunities. If you are open-minded and if you're really positive, and if you are really good at like kind of service-related job, and then it'd be really good to get a job.
So probably that's the reason why still so many young people are hoping to go for working holiday. Because in Korea, you need to have like different specs, you have to have a lot of like experiences. The job market is getting tougher and tougher. But in Australia, still there are a lot of opportunities, it seems. So, okie dokie.
But you know what? The people who goes to working holiday, they usually get a service-related job, not a like office job. So I think for the service field job, it's pretty much easier than the office job.
Also, that's
job.
easier,
Yeah.
right? But probably, yeah. And then the reason why those service jobs are even more attractive in Australia is because of the leisure time. And still, after working hours, your leisure time is a lot. I guess it would be richer than in Korea. Still meeting with a lot of different national people,
Yeah.
and then hearing their stories, life stories, enriching your own life.
And I think like the really big difference between the Korean market and Australian market is that the Australian, they really focus on your own personality. So they will put more importance about who you are, which personality you have, that only your skills or your background.
So they are less judgmental.
I will not say that, but at least they prefer like people who has a great personality, that people who have who did everything in his life and has so many skills, but never really been on the field. Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to now we've been talking about getting the job situation, like after arriving, getting the job. Let's move back a little bit, the timeline, and then let's think about when you applied for the working holiday visa. For our listeners to, they can have a second chance by listening to your experience. So was it tricky to finally get the visa after you applying it? And then how long did it take to prepare the application, and like how long did it take between submitting application and actually receiving the visa? Let's talk about those kind of things. Let's go with Jeff first.
Yeah. I think application for the working holiday visa to Australia didn't really take so much time. So much time. It's just like, well, I mean, there are so many like materials you can refer to when you apply, when you board the visa. Kind of like there are so many blogs on the internet, so you can refer to those blogs too when you apply for the visa. Especially fill out some informations, fill out some forms, and then right after you are done with filling out the form, then you can just like make a reservation for your medical checkup. Like there are only 4 hospitals in Korea, like 3 hospitals in Seoul and then 1 hospital in Busan. Yeah, wherever you want to go, you can just make a reservation by making a call to the hospital.
But your medical checkup will be accepted only when it's conducted by those 4 hospitals?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and as far as if I'm not mistaken, when I applied for working holiday visa to Australia, it costs like about $500,000 right on the spot. Like right after I finish it filling out the form, I just had to pay for kind of application fee. $500,000.
$500,000.
So it's like $500.
500.
That's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
Wait.
500,000?
500,000 won.
Really?
Yeah.
On what? On what? Like
What is this price
Yeah.
for?
Kind of like I don't exactly know. what
you might have been reading.
Yeah.
But just like there was some kind of amount that I would pay. I have
In
I
the
have
hospital?
to pay.
Or
no.
The application
Australian
fee.
government kind of
Okay.
application fee, and the medical checkup fee is excluded from the 50,000 won.
50,000. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's like 5만 won.
50,000 won.
No, 500.
500,000 won.
Wait, medical checkup was 500,000?
No. 500,000 won is for application fee. And
Okay.
then
The visa.
Kind of like 200,000 won is for medical
Medical
checkup.
checkup.
It's
So
like
20만 won for visa and then 50만 won for the application.
Yeah, kind of like.
Wow. Leah, did it cost you that much to apply?
No, because
Why did
no.
I trust Australia?
Sorry, man, it was cheaper for me. Actually, like no. Firstly, French people don't need a medical checkup, so we don't go to hospital. We
So
don't
many.
need.
This is kind of.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, we have some advantages. I don't know.
I should have gone
Yeah.
to French.
Yeah, you should be born French now. We have some bad things to do. Yeah, so we don't have medical checkup. Actually, we can do all the application visa stuff online. So it took me just like few hours to do it, and the next morning I received like, you got your number, and actually it's all electronic, so they don't print off the visa on your passport. It's just like, I don't know, when you arrive in Australia, you just show your passport and they have the electronic system that recognize you have the visa. So actually I think at this time the visa cost me around €200, so it's like $250.
US dollars.
Yeah, US dollars.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, that's it. But the only things they required is like you have to be under 30. You don't have to get children.
It's the same for Koreans actually.
Yeah.
Under 30.
The age limit.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
it's not
they-
Korean age, international
Yeah,
age.
international.
Yeah, and they're gonna ask to check my bank account. So you have to provide to show that you have at least $3,000. I think now it's $3,500.
3,500 US dollars or
Yeah,
Australian
US.
dollars?
I think it's US
US
for
dollars.
everyone, but
Was it the same for you?
No, I didn't need to show my bank balance.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, so
'Cause
that's the
according to my
difference. Yeah.
Koreans are required.
Yeah, but you know, in Korea, I mean, application for working holiday visa to Australia is open 24/7.
Right.
How
I mean,
about
it's probably open for French as well.
I mean,
so
it's
just that
online, so you can do it anytime.
Ah.
So, but when you do it online, then you send all the papers required. So that's
sounds
why,
good.
like, I send a copy of like a record of my bank account, and
Okay,
then,
Leah had
yeah.
to pay $250 US for the application fee, but
Yeah.
but Jeff had to pay twice of that.
kind of.
Maybe because of that, we don't have to show the bank balance.
Yeah, of
maybe?
course, I didn't need to prepare some papers.
That's an
to
interesting
show.
point.
but
That's the big
our
difference.
visa increased a lot these 3 past years. Like nowadays, I have a friend who went there last year, and his visa cost $400. So in just 2 or 3 years, the visa increased so much because they try to reduce the people's going in Australia.
Yeah,
I guess for our listeners, check their website before going.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think they seem to it seems like they kind of changed the price and things very rapidly.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot.
Check the website.
Yeah.
Check the website.
A lot.
Okay, now let's move on to Hyesun. What about Canada? When you applied for, like, how long did it take? Wait.
But in my case, it took around a month.
But for Leah, it was online process, and then you got the visa like
The next morning.
Next morning.
Yeah.
An hour.
Yeah.
The next day.
Yeah.
I was in the library at my high school and I just checked and I said, yeah, I got my visa. So
Yeah.
Depressing. Okay, well, let's move on to Hyesun this time.
Okay,
So how long did it take to get the visa?
I started to prepare my visa in July 2013 and I got my visa in October. So it took about 4 months. And I heard getting a visa to go to Canada is much harder
Than Australia.
So it took a lot of time compared to...
And I heard there is a limitation for the number of people who can apply for the visa too.
Yeah, Canada Embassy only selects 3,000 people per year. Per year or per...
I think it's per year.
Per year.
3,000 people per year.
Yeah.
They only select 3,000 people per year. And I also got a medical checkup. So I paid about 170,000 Korean won. Yeah, much cheaper than yours. No, I mean, there was an application fee actually. So I paid $100,000 Korean won for medical checkup.
Okay.
The application was 170,000 Korean won.
And you said something about getting help from Daum Cafe and in your university as well.
Oh yeah, because in my university, do you know the private institution in BTL?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you have one. Yeah, so actually some people.
So there is an agency.
Yeah, that's an agency. So some people actually paid for getting a visa, but I didn't want to pay for this. So I prepared by myself. So one of the staff helped me a lot from there.
Okay. Well, so far we've been talking about, so in part 3 we talked about the job, and then now about applying for the visa, and we saw how different it is between the countries, different requirements, and we strongly recommend you to check the website because it changes very frequently.
Yes.
But for Australia, before you have to apply before reaching 30 years old. And for Canada, only 3,000 people are selected. So you got to do it as quick as possible, as soon as possible. And getting some help from Daum Cafe. And if you turn up National University student, and then you might be able to get some free help, depending on the case, from the agency on the first floor.
Should be polite all the time.
Is it free help?
It was a free help, but I treat coffee sometimes.
Okay, it might not be completely free. Take some coffee. Okay, we're gonna listen to the next song, Je ne veux pas by Big Mama, and then we're gonna come back and say goodbye. Actually, welcome back to Saturday Brunch, and thanks for sticking around till we say goodbye. Time went super fast. And Leah wanted to talk about, before we say goodbye, Leah wanted to talk about a website that she got a lot of help for working holiday visa in Australia.
Yes, so actually I recommend anyone who wants to do some volunteering in Australia to go check on HelpX, HELPNX.
HelpX.
Yeah, because that's a website that you can do volunteering for any kind of jobs. And again, 4 hours of work every day, you get food and accommodation for free.
Wow.
So that's what I use actually when I just arrived in Australia, and I stay in 2 different families for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a really great
That's gotta be
website.
really great help.
Yeah, and it's good for improving your English as well.
I'll make sure to put that on the website as well.
Yes.
And so how was the show today?
Yeah.
Really amazing. This is my first time to be on the radio, and especially in English.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like grabbing this kind of chance is really rare. So I was really honored and I was really happy, especially with you guys speaking English.
That's sweet of you. What about you, Hyesun?
I told you guys this is one of my bucket lists. I'm so glad to be here today, and thank you for joining and giving me a chance to be here.
And Leah, last time?
Yeah, I was really happy to come here today, and I wish I will get another chance maybe to share about my other travels.
I'll make sure to do
Yeah.
that.
And if you're interested, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Yeah, please, the adventure. Yes.
That's gonna be put on our website.
I'll visit too.
And
Yeah.
my last, my last things is never forget. Don't dream your life, live your dream.
Oh, that's powerful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's really nice to have you all here in the studio today, and we'll say goodbye. Would you say goodbye to our listeners? Bye.
Bye.
Well, Leah just put a really power punchline for the last one.
Oh my
and
God,
I'll
it was
come up
really
with my own.
impressive.
Oh, sorry. We'll have to go again. Okay, for the last thing, Leah put a really powerful punchline for the program. Well, I have to come up with mine. For today's quote, if you think adventure is dangerous, try routine. It's lethal, by Paulo Coelho.
So for tonight, we're gonna camp near Muan International Airport, and